The veins and vessels in the eyes are about the width of a hair of your head. So getting the waste out and getting the nutrients in is really the trick. When issues come up in the eyes, it's basically because they're all clogged up and circulation is not able to get around in there. So the big thing, what everything about healing the eyes and dealing with the eyes is all about getting good stuff in and getting the waste out. The eye structure is, if you downloaded my class handout, I've got several really good diagrams of the eye in there for what it's worth. It shows the eye and then the muscles that attach to it. And those muscles are what actually focus your eye. They work when you get, when the muscles become weak, you will get vision issues, nearsighted, farsighted, and all that. And that's because the muscles that, when they're tightened, I believe they tighten for near work and they relax for farsight. If I'm not mistaken, I could be backwards on that. I've gotten backwards on it in the past, but there are eye exercises in here where you can actually take your eyes to the gym and work these muscles and strengthen these muscles, which will clear up farsightedness and nearsightedness. And basically what, on the printout, I demonstrate making a long, you get like a 10-foot long thing of twine, and you put about every 18 inches, you're going to put a ball of some sort. You can use a big button, you can use foil, whatever, just something that you can focus on with your eye. And then you put the end with the ball as close as you can focus on it to your nose. And when your eyes are doing good, you can put that first ball right smack on your nose and focus evenly on it. When there's issues with the eyes, you'll have to have it a little further away, and you're working to get it close right on the eye. And then what you do is you focus on that one, the one close, and then you bounce back and you focus. And what you're going to see is the string take off in two directions behind what you're focusing on. It's going to split. And that's what you want to see when you're looking at it, is you want the string to split behind the one that you're far away, and you come back close and you focus far away. And you have like 4 or 5, 3 or 4 or 5, whatever, balls on there, and you just come and then you get further away and then further away, and then you come back. And that is exercising those eye muscles, which I have my ball attached to the top of my, my bid. I have a 4-poster bid, and I just have the string tied there, and I can sit in my chair up there and just pull it to my nose and do my eye exercises. And it does wonders for strengthening these muscles, which control your vision. Okay, the other thing is, where we get the floaters from is getting waste in this white gel that's around the eye, behind the eye. This is just a ball of gel. And when you get waste in there, it floats around, and you'll see floaters and stuff in your vision. And believe it or not, just flushing your eyes with the eye bright will get rid of these floaters. I get floaters occasionally from time to time. And one time I hadn't realized that they'd come up again. I'm trying to pick these things out of my water, and I'm realizing there's nothing in my water. It is floaters that I'm seeing. And so I did it. And usually for me, one flush and the floaters are gone. It just clears them right out. So don't disregard. And it's also for eye strain, tired eyes, that gritty feeling in your eyes. It's amazing what just flushing your eyes, it's like somebody puts an oil can in them and just refreshes them. So it's really, really nice just to use the eye bright just for general flushing, and it just gets all the grit and garbage. Glaucoma is an issue where you're losing the pressure in there. There's a leakage of pressure, and of course the eye bright is going to help, because the cayenne is going to seal up the eye and help with relieving the pressure quite a bit. It's not there is a testimony that Christopher has in here of someone who, in his day, used the eye bright and cleared up the glaucoma very quickly. I've actually had my one testimony with the glaucoma was it didn't work on the glaucoma. And so, but Christopher has it working, and I don't understand, and Christopher addresses this in the papers here. I don't understand why it works for some people and it doesn't work for others. I have had people who have done the work for cataracts, and we're talking in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever. Their cataracts just melted away and were gone. And then I've had others that it didn't do any good at all. It just didn't. And Christopher addresses that, and he says, I don't know why. He said, for some people, it just does not affect the issue. I have yet to see it fail to work with macular degeneration. Doing this, where macular degeneration was involved, I've seen it go from wet to dry very quickly. And, you know, wet macular is when you're beginning to bleed and they say you're going to be blind pretty quick. And the dry is just degenerating. And but I have yet to see it fail to make a difference with macular degeneration. I have seen it, it normally works really good for cataracts, and it just clears that mucus. Basically, cataracts are just the forming of mucus and waste that's getting trapped on the lens, and it just cleans that off. And it may be hardened to the place where it takes a little while for it to clean up, but in most cases it does. But there are some it just doesn't work, and they'll get some relief. And I have to admit that my husband is one, he's got a cataract in one eye, and he has been working faithfully on it. He has stopped it. It's supposed to be a fast forming one and all that, and he has stopped the movement forward of it. And he actually did some reverse work, but it's not clearing it up. And he made a second formula, which is Dr. Christopher's original. The formula that we have been making all these years is one that Schultz had tweaked, and I didn't realize that it wasn't Christopher's original formula until someone brought that to my attention. And so we went to Christopher's book, pulled out his original formula, and he's actually put that together, and he's going to start using that and see if that makes any difference on his issues. But the formula as it stands, as we've had it, has been hugely successful for quite a few people. So let's yes.
What's a reasonable length of time to to start using the eye wash and expect to see some kind of results?
I've had some people within a week. At a church down here, we have a medical missionary who attends church in Hendersonville from us, and he goes to the old people's homes. He was actually in a car accident where his eyes were damaged, and he lost the sight in one, and the other one was really, really bad. And he used the eye bright and regained his vision. He's got his driver's license back, and he's fairly young, and he just goes around and shares this with the seniors and all this. It's like his missionary thing, and he's a real nice guy. And he had shared it with somebody in Hendersonville, and she had called me and shared that she had used it, and her cataracts were so bad, everybody was just like stick people. You know, she could hardly see anything, but just kind of movement in the background and all that. And in 1 week, it was clear. For her, it just cleared it up super fast.
I mean, again,
I haven't seen that.
Like, if you were to tell somebody with let's say, a developing cataract to use it, would you say use it twice a day, 3 times a day?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Over a week? Well, both. I wanted to know the frequency per day and the sort of realistic amount of time to try it for things.
Okay. On the other end of that, an older woman in Texas who is another caregiver, she had cataracts and she also had a scratch on one eye, and she had been doing it for like 3 or 4 months. And the last time she'd been in to see her optometrist, he had told her that the only thing left for her was going to be surgery. That was all that was left. And so she got real busy with the eye bright. And 3 or 4 months later, she went back in there, and he, without even pulling her chart, I mean, this guy didn't even know who was in the chair in front of him. She was just appalled when she called me. He said he checked her eyes and without even opening her chart, and he goes, well, you have the beginning of a cataract in your one eye, and that was the eye that he had said on her last visit the only thing left was to do surgery. He says, you got just the start of a cataract in that eye. We need to watch that. And the other eye is beautiful, and she'd had scar tissue on the other retina, and it had completely cleared that up. That was gone. The scar tissue had completely cleared up. Oh, and he said, I see some really weird cell structure on there. It was like the cells were doing something he didn't recognize in where the scar had been. And obviously they were healing, and he had never seen that happen before. But yeah. So that was, she called me, and our birthdays are both in September, and she says, I expect to be celebrating in September having this thing completely gone. And I think it was like June or July when we spoke of this. And so she had 2 or 3 months. So for her, it was probably a 6-month process to clear hers up. And that would be more what I would expect to see. I would, okay, on the usage of it for cataract, I have had people do it anywhere from just twice a day to every 3 hours. Okay. I had one older gentleman in his 80s who he was just sitting around all day just doing it, in his eyes back and forth. And he did clear him up. He got rid of the degeneration and the cataract. And I asked him, I said, how could you stand to do that? He goes, oh, honey, you just lay there and just let it burn. It's just taking it away. And I'm going, it would hurt. Okay. My advice is, if you are going to go crazy like that and you really want to, just really overuse it like that, you have to protect the tissue around your eyes. So you either want the BF&C or the infection salve to put around the eyes on this tender tissue. Because if you are dousing that with cayenne, which is in the eye bright, you're going to degrade that tissue. It's very tender tissue around your eyes here. And it's not going to hurt it, but it's going to break down, start stinging, and get irritated. And so, yes, I guess it would hurt it. It would just be too much. It'd be like letting garlic get on your feet when you do the garlic paste to your feet. You don't want that. It's going to burn them, chemical burn. So
two or three times a day is reasonable.
Yeah, it's reasonable. I would say 3 times a day would be definitely good. And if you are going to do it 3 times a day, I would still say protect your eyes just a little bit with infection salve or BF&C. Just around, you don't have to goop it on. You just rub just a little bit on just before you do it to protect the skin. And because if you're doing it regularly like that every day, that's cayenne going on that tender tissue every day. And it can get a little irritated from the chemical. But
any kind of, I'm trying to think, any kind of little salve or, any cream just be enough to protect the tissues?
Yes, the infection salve. Our infection salve or our BF&C salve. Either one of those would work. So, if you're already using one for something, just dab a little around your eyes. And it's mainly the under part of the eye that we're really worried about, where it's going to drip out and come down on the tissue. So that is the cataracts. and what the cataracts are. When you use the eye bright, you are bringing the fresh blood in. Like I said, the vessels in the eyes are about the width of a hair of your head. So when you do it, you bring the fresh blood into the eye. There's going to be involuntary eye closure. When your eyeball is that full of blood, it doesn't want to be open. So your eyes are going to close. And you just put the cold cloth over your eyes, lean back. There's usually a feeling of warm behind the washcloth in your eyes. In cases with retinal degeneration, some of that, sometimes there can be some stinging. It's not bad. It's just, it's a minor thing. Just relax and let it happen. It's just the good stuff going on. You don't want to do it to the place where you torture yourself. So the way that you do the eye bright is if you have the degeneration, which can be pretty intense on the feel of the eye bright, start with just 1 or 2 drops in the eye cup. And these are eye cups. And yes, these are glass. I cannot sell glass anymore. They're too expensive, but you can buy the glass ones on Amazon. They're like $8 or $9 a piece. When I got these, they were like $1.50 until the FDA got their hands in it. And now they're up to $8 or $9 a piece for the glass ones. We have the plastic ones, and they're like $3.50 a piece, and they look the same. But you put the drops in first, and then you add the distilled water. Okay, don't ever put the drops in second, because they'll just sit on the top, and it's like you're putting them straight in your eyes without diluting them, and that can be kind of intense. And then you're just going to lift this up and put this on the eye, and as long as your eye will probably want to go closed really quick. Once that hits the eyeball and touches it, the eye will just want to close. If you can keep the eye open for any period of time, do it. And just flush the eye as well as you can. You may have to do it more than once. Once your eye recovers and opens back up again, you can always just go ahead and flush it the second time. The second time, you can usually keep your eye open longer. It's a little numbed to the cayenne effect. So it's not going to be as intense the second go round as it was the first. When you do the eye flushes, if there's no drama, if you're not having involuntary eye closure, if there's no warmth, no drama going on, you're not using enough, and it's not going to do you any good. You may start out with just 1 or 2, maybe 3 drops, and that gives you a ton of drama, and then 5 days or whatever down the road, it's no drama at all. Your eyes are open immediately, and you're just looking around, and you're just going, that wasn't much. You need to go back and do it again and add 2 or 3 more drops and keep building the drops up. I usually use between 8 to 10, 12 drops myself. My husband can go as high as 17, 18 drops. He's disgusting. But if I did that, I'd be sitting here blind for an hour. When I do the demos on here, I tend to just do 5 or 6 drops so that my eyes aren't closed for so long. So if you see if you ever saw the other video I did demonstrating how to do the things, I ended up doing 3 takes of that. And by the 3rd take, my eyes were just going, oh my goodness, not more. But okay, before I demonstrate the eye flush though, let's talk about, we talked about poor vision, we've talked about glaucoma. I would not pass up on doing the eye bright for glaucoma. I mean, do it, see what value you're going to get from it. Christopher says, and he was a master herbalist. He knew what he was talking about. And he had results. I've only had one person with glaucoma do the routine. And of course, I only have their word as to what they were doing. So who knows? Whether they were actually doing it or if they were just fooling around and fooling themselves. I don't know. It was a long distance thing. It wasn't up close and personal. Okay, poor vision. Go ahead.
So once the eye cup is there, would you give us an approximate time in minutes as to hold the eye cup there? How many minutes?
It's not a matter of minutes. It's a matter of what you can tolerate and how long your eye will stay open and allow it to be there. Usually it's just a few, maybe 10, 15 seconds. If the eye is open and you're able to, like the second time around, go ahead and flush it for maybe 30 seconds or so. Just really let the eyeball get a good concentration of the fluid. The first time, it will probably be quick. And you'll see, when I demonstrate it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, we talked about poor vision. And of course, the eye bright is going to stimulate the muscles. It's going, anytime that you are using cayenne or anything like that, you are stimulating and bringing blood flow into it. So using the eye bright along with the muscles, working the muscles with the string, is definitely going to add octane to the string exercises, is using the eye bright and just getting the good nutrients in there into the eye. Also, I didn't mention this earlier, but eye bright is actually the name of an herb, and that is the master herb for the eyes, is eye bright. It actually has nutrients and nutrition that go into the eye tissue and have specific nutrients and nutrition for the eyes themselves. So on top of it being a really good formula, it's actually feeding the eye tissue. So that is the herby thing.
Hey, Dara?
Yes.
Dara, I'm 66 and got my glasses at age 4 because I have lazy eye syndrome. One eye just doesn't work. Do you know any history
the
of people like
muscular
that?
tone of that eye?
Right.
Yeah, my father is the one that actually developed the eye muscle regiment there. The string and all that, I got that from my dad. He was a biochemist and a nutritionist for his 60s and 70s. He was still quite allopathic, but he did do a lot of natural things, and he used the string, and he was in and out of glasses through my childhood. There were periods of time when he would have to wear glasses, and then he could get rid of them. And in his later years, he was in his late 80s when he passed. He could read a novel. He was an avid reader, and he didn't wear glasses or anything right up until he died. And he would read there in bed. He had bone cancer there at the end. And he could read. There was nothing wrong with his eyes, and he had his string there right up to the end. He did it. He was very much into what he was doing. A melancholy personality where you can do the same thing 20 million times and just keep on doing it. That was him. And so he did the string thing. I remember him talking about working with somebody that had lazy eye, and that they did get some benefit from the exercises. He was not doing the herby stuff in conjunction with the exercises. So that is the only testimony I have, or the only understanding I have of the lazy eye, is from my dad's time, and just using the muscular toning regiment. But I would say adding the herbs to it would be excellent. That would definitely increase. Oh, definitely won't hurt anything.
Okay, thank you.
All right, dear. All right. On here we have the sty, which a sty is like an inflammation in the eyelid. And with that one, you can, Christopher talked about a fomentation with the formula he mentions there is actually the infection salve that we have. When he gets in the material, you'll see that he says use this and this and this. That's what's in the infection salve. And so that's what he's saying there. And a fomentation of that, instead of a fomentation, you can just put the salve over it and just use the salve and pack it on with some gauze and just let it be over the eye, and wash it off and change that 2 or 3 times a day until it clears up. It usually doesn't take long. I would also flush with the eye bright simply to get the garbage out, because the fact that there's a sty there means that you're not getting good circulation into the eye itself and into the eyelid. Garbage is able to accumulate in there. So using the eye bright is definitely going to help get circulation into the eye and help clear the sty. And the infection salve over top, just put over top of it, is going to target the area and try to get that garbage out. So that would be what you would want to do for a sty, is just pack it with the infection salve and then flush it with the eye bright a couple times a day. Conjunctivitis and pink eye. Okay, believe it or not, highly contagious stuff here, which everyone knows. I usually, when there's conjunctivitis around, I use a little bit of bleach water and put the cups into the bleach water, and then rinse them off real well before they're used. And then you just wipe down everything, anything that the child touches or the person has touched. You just wipe that down, because pink eye is extremely contagious. I will tell you, it's very, very doable and a quick fix. My girlfriend, Denise, when her little girl was young and we were still writing the book, she came over and she had a touch of pink eye conjunctivitis that she had gotten from her little girl. And I gave her the eye bright. She flushed her eyes, got complete relief. It's almost instantly relief. It just takes all that burn away and just clears it up. The woman never put the bottle down. She had the bottle in her hand. She just yanked the $20 out of her purse and said, "Here." I said, "Well, that's not even full." She says, "I don't care. You're not getting this back." She walked off with my bottle of eye bright. And it does, it works beautifully. I have had just where my eyes were tearing and just, exhausted eyes, and just done the, and what it is it's a conjunctivitis is a clogging of the tear ducts. The tear ducts are clogged. And so this just opens all that up. And it's a real quick fix for conjunctivitis. So if you've got that, or small children around, that is probably something you want in your 911 medicine cabinet, is the eye bright, because there's nothing worse than pink eye, and it's very, very painful and uncomfortable. Okay, foreign particles in the eye, and the eye becomes inflamed and sore. You get the particle out, but the person is still saying, "Oh, it hurts," and flush them with the eye bright. That's going to take the inflammation in the eye down and help clear that. So especially when you're dealing with a kid, they're probably going to be carrying on like crazy even with the eye bright flush, but it will get that inflammation and everything from the foreign particle out. It will clear that up. Scar tissue. I talked a little bit about scar tissue. There is a section in here for scar tissue in the eye caused from herpes simplex. And just go over that in the handout. I'm not going to go into detail on that, but he has a burdock tea, and there's a regimen that you would be doing if you have the scar tissue from the herpes virus. And that would be another way of saying shingles on the face and stuff like that, which I know some of us have had to deal with. Christopher has specific directions in the handout on what you would do in addition to the flushing with the eye bright to get that cleared up. Okay, the speeding up the program. Somebody had asked him a question on how do you speed up the program? What do you do to make it go faster, to get the program? And it's really common sense stuff. If you've got issues going on anywhere in your body, this all applies. You would do the good foundational program. You do not want to take any sugar, any garbage into your body while you are doing any healing program at all. So to clear to kick up your eye healing program. You go on a good foundational, which is boosting with echinacea, getting that immune system up, fired up and going well, making sure your bowels are open so the waste can get out. Because believe it or not, when the bowels are backed up, all the cells all the way up the line are holding their garbage. No one's going to dump their garbage if the relay coming up from the bowel says this freeway is full and there's nowhere to put it. So the cells hold the waste, everything holds the waste, nothing's going to dump. So make sure that the bowels are open and moving well. All of that good stuff is going on. And the food program, if you've got a real serious issue going on, go ahead and do a juicing program, do an intense flushing program. Add all that into it. It's only going to help. The other things that are really important is to, it's on, these pages aren't numbered. Let me get my glasses. Okay. On here he says, in addition, it is also important to improve the circulation to the head area. This can be accomplished by laying your head down on a slant board each day. Gradually work up to 20 minutes twice a day. So this is to increase the circulation into the head, is to do your slant board for 20 minutes twice a day. And don't just pop on that, get used to it. If you're not used to being on a slant board, you want to take your time. And when you come off of it, you might want to have some cayenne close by. In case you get heady, you can just hit some cayenne and put your head right back on your shoulders.
How would we apply that?
Pardon?
Cayenne. How would we use and apply the cayenne thereafter?
Oh, it would just be a matter of taking it orally, like having a glass of hot lemonade sitting close by. You know, where you've got your cayenne, your apple cider vinegar, your lemon juice, and maybe some maple syrup thrown in there with the water. And just have that you can drink when you sit up from the slant board, so that you get the circulation going back really good. Also, the one thing, and this is really important. Okay, I'm just going to read what he wrote here. Note, there is also a tendency for the eyesight to be seen to worsen for a while. This is due to the toxins being released from the system and coming to the surface of the eye to be washed away. This also indicates that the lower bowel formula should be used as a means for keeping the eliminative channels open. Basically, if you are having a backlash from your program, make sure that all the eliminative organs are open. You probably wouldn't hurt to do an ELF and just get that liver flushed out so everything can pull well. Because, I mean, we're dealing with teeny tiny little vessels, and all that waste has to get out through those. So he basically says, no, you're not allergic to the Eye Bright formula. No, it is not causing you to get worse. It's the waste coming to the surface for elimination. So you're pulling the waste up. So don't freak out if it seems to get worse before it gets better. It's just the body sloughing the stuff off and getting rid of it. And that goes with any healing program. Just make sure the eliminative organs are open and working really well. For the fun part, we are going to see how you actually do an eye wash. All right. I usually like to use 2 cups when I do the, I set both cups up in the beginning because when you're sitting there with one eye blind, it's kind of hard to hit the target and get the drops in the second cup. So I tend to do 2 cups at once. And I'm just going to go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drops in each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I said, I don't want to be sitting here blind. And this is just my water bottle. Okay. All right. And then I've got my good cold washcloth that's been sitting on ice over there, ready to use. Oops, I better keep that on there. I'll just lay that there. Okay, let me pick this up so the torture can be seen. All right. You pick up the first one, and I have not done this in several weeks, so my eyes are probably really going to take to this. I don't know if you can still see me. It feels really nice. That was a light one for me, but it felt really good. I cheated. There was not enough. Darn it. As you can see, if you end up like this, my eye is open, you didn't use enough. So you just dump that out, and this is the way you get started and do it. I had practically no reaction. It felt like a nice deep itch was what I got feeling with that, but there was no real drama. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we're going for broke. That's a little full. Hot. Okay, let's see. This one's definitely going to have some drama. All right, here we go. Yep. Definitely felt that one. Still, it's not bad. And I'm cheating a little bit because this is my good eye. My other eye is the one that usually gives me hell. It should not be this easy if you have an issue in your eye. I do not have issues with my eyes except that they're old and I can't see worth anything out of them without glasses. And I need to do my own eye exercises a little more often. Okay, I'm just going to take this one. It doesn't matter if you go between eyes when you're not dealing with conjunctivitis. This one's stronger, so I'm just going to do this in my other eye. Like I said, this is the eye that doesn't tend to appreciate eye bright so much. I am fluttering my eye. It is, I can't say I can see through it, but, oh. Okay. That one wants to have some involuntary eye closure. Not bad though. All right, there's not enough drama going on here. I'm going to have to kick it up a little bit. Normally,
Dara,
go ahead. Yes.
Use the same eye cup, the same solution for both eyes.
I did on this one. I don't have conjunctivitis or any issue with my eyes, so because I had kicked the formula up, and this one I took it to my other eye.
But
this
that's all
other
right.
cup that
it's all right generally to reuse it. Like,
you can go between. If you're dealing with glaucoma or cataracts or something, I would set it up fresh and new so that you get a really strong because you are going to be soaking the nutrients into the eye. The eye is going to be absorbing some of that. So you do want, I would say use a fresh one unless you're in a real big hurry and you just don't want to miss the, yes, and it will make your nose run. You know, you've got some reason to really hurry, then instead of missing it, go ahead and switch between the eyes. But if you have the choice, I would make fresh ones for both eyes. Okay, I'm going to go for 15 drops. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And one way to kick it up, if you find, you can always add additional cayenne right into the formula. You can put a drop or two of cayenne right in your cup, and that will definitely kick it up. This is a much stronger, I put 15 drops in here. Let's just see if we can't get a little involuntary eye closure going. Mm. Mm. Okay, that one definitely. Let's put it this way, any floaters I've had recently are now gone. And all you do, normally, you know, when the drama is really good, and I'm obviously not going to get any drama today. My eyes are going, we just are fine. I could probably go up to 20 drops and hardly feel anything. What you do is you just put the cold cloth over your eyes and just lay back and relax into it and allow it to do what it's going to do. The eyes, I don't know if you can see, they will whiten up real pretty after it all dissipates. Right after you do it, they tend to be a little red and bloodshot, of course. But they lighten up and they get really nice. 10, 15 minutes, a half hour down the road, they get really good. But there was a lot more drama when I made the first video.
I watched that one, I remember.
Yeah, and I had done quite a few. But today I'm just not going to get any drama off of it. My thing is, if you want the drama, when you have issues with the eyes, the more intense the issue with the eye, the more serious the issue with the eye, the more intense is going to be the effect of the eye bright. So if you have retinal degeneration, glaucoma, cataracts, whatever, start with a slow dose and just build up until you find how many drops give you the drama that you need. And you should be sitting there with a washcloth over your eyes for 5 to 10 minutes. You know, when you're healing something, it should take that long for the eyes to want to be open again. So just get in your favorite chair, just relax, have the washcloth there, flush your eyes, and just put the cloth over your eyes and just lean back and relax. And it takes 5, 10 minutes. Sometimes, you know, in some cases, it's as much as 20 minutes before you want to take the cloth off. But if an emergency happens, you know, if your house catches fire and you got to run outside, you can open your eyes. It's just there's a burning and your eyes are going, what the heck are you doing to me? I don't want to be open right now. But you can see you are not permanently blind during that time. If you have to look around, you can do it. It's going to be very blurry and uncomfortable to get them open, but in an emergency you could. So you are not handicapped while you're sitting there. It's just you're more comfortable if you just let the process happen, and don't try to open your eyes before they're ready to be opened. Any questions on the eye wash? I am just sorry I couldn't get more drama out of it.
Dara?
Yes.
I have something that happens to me when I'm driving. Is that I start off seeing at least adequately, and then the vision kind of becomes blurry or a little bit of double vision after I drive 30, 45 minutes. And I have tried using, actually pulling off the road and doing an eye wash thing. It isn't very practical, and I can't.
No.
I couldn't really sit, with a washcloth either. So I just wondered if you had any thoughts about that phenomenon of difficulty driving for lengths of time, or how the eye wash might relate to it.
First, let me ask: are you a truck driver or drive for a living?
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
Okay, then the advice I would give is to flush your eyes before you start out.
Mm-hmm.
When you know you're going to be on the road for a while, go ahead and do an eye wash before you get on the road, and just start out with one. I would also wear some sort of some sunglasses or something, so you're not getting the air from the car directly in your eyes. That always drives me out and makes my eyes want to water. But use the eye bright before you before you go down to get in the car to go on a long drive. Just go ahead and flush with the eye bright. The other thing to know about eye bright is the reason that the herb is called eye bright is because it makes your eyes shiny. If you take it as a cup of tea and you drink it daily, drink a little bit daily, and that is another way of kicking up your program, is to take a couple dropperfuls as a cup of tea once or twice a day. And that gets it into the blood so that it's more than just topically, on the eye. It's circulating through the body. But using the eye bright internally as a cup of tea makes your eyes shiny. Interesting thing on eye bright. Carrot juice really does help the eyes. It's an old wives' tale. And so the juice that you would want to be drinking quite a bit of when you are trying to heal your eyes, make sure you're getting your 32 ounces a day of carrot juice, because carrot juice really does support eye health. I was thinking next week's class, we could go to hearing, do a class on the ears, hearing, noise in the ears, all that kind of stuff, and ear infections, just everything to do with the ears. Is that interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I'm thinking that we're going to start skipping to every other week. As we're getting into the fall season, I'm thinking we can go every other week. So instead of this next Tuesday, it'll be the following Tuesday. Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so every other week, and our next class is going to be on the ears.
Today, I did want to ask, you may have already addressed this, but does the eye bright help with dryness?
Yes.
I have extremely dry.
I actually didn't address the dry eye issue. For some reason, that just slipped through my mind. I thank you for bringing it up. Yes, the reason for the dry eyes is often because the tear ducts are not open and working like they need to. There's either a clog in the tear ducts, or they're just not flowing well. And the eye wash is definitely going to open that up and just help clear that up. If you know that there's some sort of inflammation or infection or something like that in the tear duct itself, you can use the infection salve. You can just pack close your eye and then pack it with the infection salve, maybe overnight, one night, just to pull out any inflammation or anything that might be trying to be in the eye duct, in the tear ducts. And the infection salve would be excellent. You don't put it in the eye, you close your eye and just pack it over the eyes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And then you can cover it with gauze or an eye patch or whatever, and just spend the night with that over the eyes. And you know, just it might just be one night that you want to do that, just to see if there's any inflammation or to deal with anything that might be inflamed in the tear duct. And then the eye bright is definitely going to help, because it's just going to help circulation and open that up and get the dry eye. And I've had issues with dry eye myself for years, where I used to drive 60 miles one way to work every day. I lived in the high desert and I worked down in the San Bernardino Valley in California. And it was a 60-mile trip one way to work every day. And I loved it, because I was driving down the I-15, and it was just an open road. And I mean, I could go 80, 90, 100 miles an hour when it was early and there were no cops around, but it was definitely an open road and I really enjoyed it. And my eyes would get so bad that, you know, they would just be watering. It was so bad. And discovering eye bright years later, I would still have those issues from time to time, and this completely cleared them up. I don't tend to have those dry eye issues at all anymore.
Okay. I do cold compresses every morning because they're so blurry in the morning. Mine was with the cancer. I got, and they thought it was hormonally based, but I ended up, my corneas became very scratched as a result. And it wasn't treatment. I wasn't on treatment at that point. And so, yeah, but I just wondered how much, you know, years down the road, my corneas are now completely healed. That's not the issue, but I still have the lingering dry eyes. So.
Yeah, I would think that using the eye bright formula is going to help with all the circulation, because anytime that you have injury or disease at all, you have blockage.
Mm-hmm.
And so what the eye bright is going to do is it's just going to clear the blockage from the eyes and allow the good stuff to cycle in and the waste to cycle out. And that is where healing comes from, is getting rid of the blockages. So I would definitely use the eye bright. And if it's a little dramatic to start with, just cut down to just, you know, start with just a couple, 2 or 3 drops. And if there's no drama, and I wish I could have had more drama today, but my eyes just weren't going to cooperate. They're just not sore. They're not having any problems. But when the eyes are uncomfortable and there's issues, the drama will be there. So start slow and just build up until you find the drops that you need to be using so that you can flush your eyes well. And then keep the drama up. When those drops are no longer causing drama, use more. You know, just keep the drama up until the healing has happened. Is that making sense? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
But in 2 weeks, not next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday, we are going to deal with ears, hearing, ears, infection in the ears, all that good stuff, everything to do with the ears. Well, we will see you all in 2 weeks. And if you have any questions or if there's anything I can help you with in the meantime, just let me know. I'll be here.